namaste. Right here.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Aches and Gains with Doc and Donnie. I am Dr. Hayes Estes, Doctor of Physical Therapy, owner of Premier Physical Therapy here in Clearwater, Florida. Donnie, who is your daddy and what does he do? Who are you, Donnie?
It's so bad that we know that. It's these one-liners and stuff. Hi, I'm a one-liner addict from bad movies from the 90s. And,
bad? They're great.
Okay. Yeah, they're great movies from the 90s. Anyway, hi, I'm a coach.
You
you
may have seen me on such specials as...
This is a great show. Anyways, I watched a couple videos with really bad 80s and 90s acting, so I want to mimic that stuff. Be like, Dr. Hayes, what do you do for a living? So. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah. He's a smart one. I'm the
Well, Donnie.
No pressure.
No pressure. Donnie, I want to first actually start the show off with talking about how incredibly tight my t-shirt is.
Yeah, I noticed. Did you longer you messed up or
No.
A family member bought you a shirt thinking you were 14 still. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Donnie, as I told you in a recent episode that hopefully will actually air this time.
Damn, am I ever going to live that down? It wasn't even me.
I'm sorry, Ashley. Donnie, I'm now an influencer. I'm an influencer. Yeah. This is the logo of Muscle Up Bars. Muscle Up Bars. They are Muscle Up Bars. Got it. They are the official protein bar, sweet potato protein bar of USA Weightlifting. And so I, as a doctor of physical therapy, I'm also a USA Weightlifting sports performance coach. Work a ton with CrossFitters and any barbell athletes. And, they like what they saw, and they decided to give me this sweet, sweet swag. I may have underestimated what size T-shirt I wear.
Maybe. That's always a good thing, though, when you're bigger than you thought you would be. Yeah. Like, sweet.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm still going to wear it for the podcast today. But, hey, guess what? You want Muscle Up Bars. So they're fantastic. They taste great. Yeah, this is going to be an infomercial right now.
Sweet.
Okay? No, they're grass-fed whey protein, no fake sugar, no stevia, none of that nonsense. They actually taste good. They don't taste chalky like those old crappy muscle milk or
every other bar.
Yeah, like every other bar, exactly, right? And you can get a 10% discount on your order by using the discount code PREMIERPT. Premier PT. That's right. 10% discount on your order for Muscle Up Bars, the official sweet potato protein bar of USA Weightlifting.
Let's talk about how for the last, since the beginning of weightlifting as a sport, how we've just accepted and pretended protein bars. They taste great. Oh, I love the taste of this one. Why? What social pressure were we put under to be like, this is a lump of crap that just because it doesn't have sugar in it, we got to pretend it tastes good and healthy for us.
Yeah.
Go get that Snickers bar at least. At least you're going to have some dopamine response or something in there. That. Yeah. Oh, my God. So thanks to Muscle Up Bars for
Muscle Up Bars
trying to push the...
Yeah. No, when I say they actually taste good, they actually taste good. Instead of, I try not to eat my wife's brownies, not because they're not good, but because they're amazing.
They get you in a different shirt size for a different
shirt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I every once in a while, instead of eating half a tray of brownies, I'll have a Muscle Up bar as my dessert because that's how good it tastes. I heard. I also listened to the Power Athlete podcast. You know John Wellborn.
I'm a fan.
So he and Tex McQuilkin, they kind of have a similar rapport as you and I do. So John was telling a story about how he tried out this salmon powdered protein, where there was a fish dispensary, whatever, basically had a bunch of old salmon that they couldn't sell to humans, and so they dried it out. they made it into powderized form, and they're like, man, because this is like 90% protein is better than anything else out there on the market. You get much more protein per serving than anything else.
Sure.
Yeah, and so he told a story about how he tried over the course of a year like 400 different types of flavored like salmon protein shakes, and no matter how much sugar or sweeteners they put in there, he just tasted salmon. For an entire year.
And I don't know about you, but every time I pick up something to drink, I want to taste fish. That's exactly what I want to taste.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I'm waiting for Coca-Cola to come out with a salmon-flavored Coke.
Yeah.
It's everything else.
Muscle Up bars don't taste like salmon. I'm sure they're going to appreciate that.
That's a great tagline. They don't taste like salmon. Like, that's all you got to say. And
So, all right.
Let's.
I don't know how we're going to
segue into that one. This show is not brought to you by salmon.
No.
So,
but if Muscle Up Bars wants to sponsor us,
you're already halfway in the door, brother.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Here you go. All right. Maybe they can give me a larger T-shirt too.
There we go.
Okay.
Maybe that's next year. After you got to prove yourself.
I
first,
do have to prove myself. All right. We have a topic today, don't we? We've been here for 6 minutes.
Why do we do this? We think we're funny. Okay.
This is yours, so whenever you want to go.
This is my topic. All right, so today we're going to talk about something that, as a coach and a trainer, and by the way, when the term coach, I don't call myself. It was never once something I called myself until it was bestowed upon me by people who I had helped. Just putting that out there because there are plenty of people who call themselves coaches that do not deserve it. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to talk about this thing that I see a lot that I'm not a huge fan of, and that's me putting it mildly. I don't do a Robert Frank rant on you here where I'm go Swolls go. Anyway, forced mobility, and by forced mobility, we're talking about taking someone who is not naturally gifted with mobility and trying to make them into someone who's mobile, and there's ways to do it. There's ways to increase mobility exponentially on someone who is either via injury or just genetic default to being immobile or something that goes on. Like similar to myself, having several hip surgeries before my puberty hit and my formidable years, so I had a lot of issues with my hips before they even developed. There's ways to do this, and forced mobility, in my opinion, is not. And we're going to talk about what we mean by forced mobility, and that's a very broad term, but the type of we're talking about is the ones you've seen in martial arts schools or UFIT trainers that want to say, hey, you should be able to get this range of motion because my book here that UFIT gave me says you should, so we're going to make you do it. Now, I'm quite sure, without even having to ask you, that you've dealt with a lot of this stuff, people in your clinic, due to trying to, or either trying to get ranges of motion they can't get, or accidentally getting range of motions they should not have gotten, causing tears in soft tissue and other things going on there. So you give me your, at least anecdotal at first, shot at this and what you've experienced throughout your time as a clinician.
So I will, let's see how I want to start with this. We deal a lot with function. That's the main thing that we deal with. And there's a saying that I like to use is that form does not necessarily beget function. Now, we also talk about efficiency of movement too. So do I always want to lift heavy weights with a rounded back? Probably not. But if I can build up my strength in my trunk and I have hips that are basically, or the way that my femur is set is kind of way up in my socket, and I cannot actually flex my hips. Well, maybe that's the way that I have to lift, on occasion, or for something deep down or close to the ground. So with all that said, we have norms when it comes to the rehabilitative physical therapy world in terms of what the general population averages in order to do things like bend, squat, reach overhead. With the specific example I gave you before we off camera was that 140 degrees of glenohumeral joint flexion is the functional range of motion to be able to reach to the top shelf, to be able to shave my head in this instance.
So that would be where
you
would discharge someone because they reached that motion.
No, obviously I wouldn't
Okay.
discharge them if they got to that motion.
Okay.
That's where we want to. What I care about in the clinic is comparing them to their unaffected side, trying to get them as close to that side as I can, assuming that side is non-injured, and B, what they look like doing the things that they want to do. And so that's ultimately all that we care. I mean, well, pain as well, but that's ultimately all that we really care about.
I
in the
think
clinic.
pain would be the first, and after that,
Yeah, I mean I think that's implied in
Yeah.
what I do here. But so point being, I want to improve mobility as much as I can to make them more efficient in the things that my patients want to do. But
to improve quality of life.
To improve quality of life. But there comes a point where I don't need to get to X degree. If they don't have that, if their structure that they were born with genetically does not allow that.
Yes. So
Got it. Okay.
That makes perfect sense. So we're taking an individual's limitations.
Yeah.
And if their limitations are placed on them by an injury, that's one thing. Maybe we could get back further than that.
Yeah.
But if the limitations are placed on them by, like you said, a genetic predisposition or an injury that's just not going to heal itself.
Yeah.
There's many people with shoulder injuries from powerlifting.
Yeah.
That this is as far as they're going.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
And if you go any further than that, you're going to cause more damage.
Yeah. And so now we're kind of coming to a little bit of a conundrum of, all right, well, when do we stop trying to improve the mobility? So, and I would say that it's about maintenance. And so if you start to lose something, and even if you had this history, or even you're someone who could only lift here because of all the injuries you've had, all right, but you start to lose stuff, well, then that needs to be addressed. So we can at least get you back, even to 10 more degrees, back to where you could at least lift to where you were, I don't know, a few months ago. So with that said, again, it comes down to function. And then to go back to pain, there's no pain. I don't like the saying "no pain, no gain" just doesn't have a place in my clinic. I don't think it has a place in your facility either. And so there will be a time and a place where you and I will push someone and say, all right, let's go. Don't think about stuff, just go. But when it comes to pain, that's not the answer. And so even in someone with whom I want to improve mobility, if pain is the only thing they feel when we try to stretch them or try to improve mobility, we're not going to get the mobility that we want. Because what's actually going to happen is in that instance, pain provokes or stimulates a stretch reflex response, protective response. So my body's now going to guard against it. What's going to happen is I'm actually going to get tighter. I'm going to get tighter if you just try to crank on a joint.
And injury risk increases.
Yes, exactly. And so that's. I have a lady right now, and so I see this all the time with joint replacement surgeries.
Yes.
Because the clinician, therapist, whomever, thinks that, the joint's fine because now it's this new prosthesis, so I can just crank on this thing all I want, and let's just don't worry about the reaction that the person in front of me is having.
They don't know any better right now because it's brand new. This is all scar tissue breakup. Yeah. Let's go through that. Yeah.
So I have a lady. I have a lady right now who had a knee replacement surgery a year ago, and she hit a plateau 3 months into her rehab, yet was forced by both her surgeon and coincidentally the rehab place that her surgeon had a ownership in to keep going for another 3 months, burn through her cap, her allowance, so to speak, and lo and behold, didn't get better. Well, that was because they just kept cranking on her joints, just assuming, you just got to deal with it. No, like if someone's sitting there and they're in pain in front of you, listen to them.
Listen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if someone understands the difference between pain and discomfort.
Yeah.
I explain that to my clients on our basis. Discomfort may happen during a session where we're pushing the limits. That's one thing, but you have to understand the difference between pain. Pain is not okay.
No.
Pain is not what we're here to do on your end or my end.
No. That's not to say that Sometimes we won't have pain. They're like, we're going to have every single session in PT is going to be pain-free, or that every single client that you have in here is going to have a pain-free training session. Like
that shouldn't be the theme of the day.
Yeah.
They shouldn't leave there going, damn, that hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not it.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm sore when I left. In both of our cases, because you're going to be exerting yourself further than what you're normally do. In your case, when you're doing with rehab. In my case, when I'm trying to increase someone's strength, muscular size, that kind of stuff. They're going to have some level of discomfort because they're out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But that's it. We're not leaving there going, damn, that hurt today.
Yeah.
And texting me the day or two later, I'm still in pain. That's not an ego bump. That's oh, damn, I did something wrong.
Yes.
That's how I look at that. Like, I have to address that.
Yep.
And you as well. I mean, as a doctor, your do no harm is definitely there.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So exactly right. Was there a specific incident, or what was the reason?
Why do you ask that? I have a client of mine who I hold in high regard. Bilateral hip replacement, martial artist, a medical professional in his private life. He was being forced by some of his trainers, coaches, whatever, in whatever sport he happened to be in. I'm not going to be specific on that. To have this extreme range of mobility, and the sport required it to do what he's doing. The method at which he was being forced to do it was not helping. It was hurting, and not only was it hurting him physically, he was in pain, which discouraged him from wanting to further his sport and be better at what he's done. Now, fortunately, two things happened. The coach that he was in his sport, his trainer, whatever you want to call them, I'm not going to be specific on that again, was changed, and he came across somebody who understood body mechanics and how to lengthen, not via activation and allowing the body to release itself instead of forcing it. And of course, it's going to take a little bit more time, sure, but that's the point of it. You're dealing with someone who is not quote unquote normal. So you're having to deal. You're taking some time. And second, he found me, and I helped him with his mobility, not only in mobility and depth and squat, these other things, but strengthening while he's doing it. Lo and behold, holy shit, you can increase mobility and strength at the same time. Who'd have thought?
It's amazing.
So luckily for him, and it really did force me to go, damn, how many more people out there are being wrenched open and thinking that this is the only way they can do this?
Yeah.
And it's painful for me to think about that, because it's not even just my business or your business. This is people's lives that they want to get back to some sense of normalcy and furthering their ability to do whatever they choose to do. And they're being hindered by this, and they're being hindered by people that call themselves professionals.
So even if, and you kind of touched on this a little bit. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that I have managed to improve my mobility faster than normal by just having someone absolutely crank on my joint, or being put in like one of these medieval torture devices that, like, essentially like a rack that has stretched me out. Hey, guess what? I still don't have the stability in that range of motion, in that position, to prevent injury. So now, all right, hey, now I've gotten all this range of motion, but I'm still like a wet noodle out here, and I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do, and that takes even longer to learn. To learn how to stabilize, to learn what it means to be in that range of motion, in that position. So
it's uncharted territory for the most part, especially if it's been a long time since they've been able to achieve that due to injury or surgery or whatever. So
so not to keep harping back on gymnastics, but
God, we're going back there.
Basically, that is essentially what it is. Like, you have these young people, and you're just trying to like force them into these weird, awkward positions. They don't have the strength to stabilize there, and they're still growing, and so it just baffles my mind.
Just fortunately, they're still uninjured for the most part, so the mobility is there. God, imagine they take an adult that's been injured and try to do that. They are going to literally break them in half. Yeah, it's not figuratively, literally.
Yes. Yeah. Literally. Yes. Yeah. So, I don't know. Is there anything else?
I just want to. I'll finish here with just if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Come on, people. I mean, I hate to say this, but if you were on your own doing it, you would probably stop. If a professional asks you to do it or demands it of you in their professional environment, you're more apt to follow them, even if it's against your own intuition. I urge you to not do that. I urge you to question everything. And if they can't give you a viable answer that passes the BS meter to you, look elsewhere or stop. I mean, this is something, if your trainer, your coach, your sensei, your whoever else can't tell you exactly why they're making you do something, that's a sign.
Get a second opinion.
Please.
Second opinions aren't just for your MRI.
Yeah.
They're also for the techniques or plans to accomplish something. And so get a second opinion.
And I don't believe they're being malicious when they do this stuff. I just think it's a lack of knowledge. Yeah. It's a lack of understanding of how to
It's an old school thought process of like if I don't know, it's worked in the past. Yeah. So
take a rubber band, stretch it until it pops, right?
Yeah, our bodies are resilient. I mean, they are resilient, but not when you just literally try to break in half like a wishbone. So
that's if you take any from this and all the jokes and stuff aside, just if it doesn't feel right,
trust your gut. Trust your gut.
Yep.
Trust your gut.
Hey, I'm interested to hear about this. Bro science. Actually, we're not even talking about bro science. We're talking about pet peeve.
This is your.
I know, that's why I'm interested to hear about it.
You're okay. All right. Well, I got to do the introduction,
man.
All right, so got to do the introduction.
Do it.
It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. It's bro science because we're running out of time. Myths.
That's it. Just one myth. All right. There we go. And pet peeves.
And pet peeves.
There we go.
Donnie.
Today's pet peeve. All right. This is something, of course, that happens to the lovely world of social media, and even before social media was internet forums. That's those. Man. Yeah, those were even worse.
Maybe.
So
ASL, Donnie, ASL.
So you sit here and you really you sit here and you do something you're proud of under supervision of somebody who you either trust or you're paying. You PR a deadlift or you do a great squat or some sort of stone load or something. And then here's the guy you went to high school with who used to, he used to bench 500, of course, but then he, got injured and now he's a cable repairman. He's telling you that you're going to hurt your back by doing this. And, I hate that because I have people I work with that are motivated and they're excited. And then these people come in and just like take a whack at the old Wewels. And I don't understand why they have to do it because, and I thought about this. And I truly believe they're right.
Wait, what?
If they were to try that, they would hurt themselves.
Okay.
They're absolutely right.
I mean, had me there for a second.
So they're taking their own, my back sucks. If I were to try that, I would break my back. They're right, probably.
Actually, I was going to say, that's okay. I was actually going to say the same thing.
Yeah. So it's probably right.
It's probably because you, commenter, have had a back injury and you have not rehabilitated it properly, or you've just tried to rest and then get back into things.
Rest for 4 or 5 decades.
Yeah. And so now if you go and try to deadlift, that's bad for your back, quote unquote, your back. So, I mean, listen, I actually encourage it because, if the more people that comment on our posts, then the more engagement we get, then more publicity and what have you. So, sure, go ahead. Please
tell us about
bring it with your bro science. Yeah. I bring it.
Tell me how my not perfectly straight spine is going to break as I pull 600 pounds. Please tell me that. Tell me because then I can explain to you exactly why you're wrong.
Yeah.
And
So I mean, every single. I mean, I put videos of myself on the old interwebs. We can talk about that later where you can find them. And my technique is not perfect every single time, but it's not going to be perfect. No one's technique is going to be perfect every single time.
Right.
So are they going to get hurt there? No. There's things that are called mechanisms of injury, but a mechanism of injury does not guarantee that you're going to get injured.
That's right.
You
want to minimize them in theory, but if we're going for a max effort lift, that's the thing. Form breaks down
Yeah.
Therefore, usually when you miss a heavy lift, compound lift, it's not because you were the weakness. It's a form breakdown.
Yes.
The upper back caved. All of a sudden, the hips can no longer do the work.
Yeah.
So it's not as a weakness. That's the point of it. And then you recognize your deficiencies, build them up so the next time they don't break.
Yeah.
Or they don't fail. So that's where we're at there. So stop it, people. Encourage your friends, especially if they're doing it under supervision of a coach or someone who is actually knowledgeable. Encourage them because they're taking something that they have never done before, and they're putting it out to you, saying, "Look at me, look at the work I've done." And you can take three roads. You can ignore it, which is fine. You can give them positive feedback, even if you don't know what the hell they're doing. Or you can sit there and knock them down because your insecurities or your weaknesses you're projecting upon them. You're right. You would hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So come see me.
Yeah. There are no inherently bad lifts. Okay. There may be bad lifts for that person.
Yes.
But the lift in and of itself, not inherently bad.
Yep.
So
be kind, people.
yeah. All right. On that note, remember muscle bars, Premier PT, 10% discount. Donnie, where can they find you and your influence?
The Facebook, the ever free place where you can say whatever you like with no censoring whatsoever. Facebook.com/Strength and Performance Institute, which is my studio right here. Yeah, they're watching us. Don't worry.
Okay.
Which is my studio here in Clearwater, or my gym, my facility here, where I train athletes and motivated individuals, and also Instagram.com/Donnie Kiernan, where that's some fun stuff there. I also post pictures of my up-and-coming athlete daughter, who is a fantastic softball player. So you can see some of that too. That's fun to watch because she's a great athlete, much better than myself already. It's great to watch that. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's on there too. Check it out. Go ahead.
All right. I'm Dr. Hayes Estes. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, owner of Premier Physical Therapy here in Clearwater. And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/PT and Sports Therapy. We are also on the Instagram at Run Tampa Bay. Run Tampa Bay. And that's where you will find my posts about muscle up bars and where you can get the Premier PT discount code, 10% off Premier PT. Man, I am shameless.
He's a lot less annoying on there than he is here. I promise you.
All right.
If I had something to hit him in the head with right now, I would.
Okay, good. You're done, right?
I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
We're out.
Peace.